Hi everyone, my name is Jeannie Ahmad and I'm the campus rep at Douglas Student Union.
Hi everyone, my name is Gripinja Gitu and I'm your Women's Representative at Douglas Students Union. Welcome to our provincial election Q&A leading up to October 24th, Election Day.
We are meeting candidates from different parties in New Westminster and Coquitlam-Burke Mountain electoral district, asking them questions to get to know them better, where they stand on issues that are most important to Douglas Student Union. Douglas students also inform your vote.
Today we are with Cyrus C. from the BC Green Party and running in the electoral district New Westminster riding. Thank you for joining us today.
Hello, thank you for having me today.
Something on all students' mind is school and how they're going to pay for it as post-secondary education is becoming more and more expensive. How will you and your party make post-secondary education more affordable and more accessible for all students?
Great, thanks for the question, Jinya. Clearly, the cost of getting a post-secondary education today is only getting more expensive, not just from a tuition perspective, but everything else around it, such as housing and getting to and from school. On the tuition side, the BC Greens, if elected to government, believes in fully supporting post-secondary education. It would move to double the funding of the BC Access Grant that helps post-secondary part-time students and those enrolled in multi-year programs. And on the housing side, a BC Green government would offer a rental supplement to help low and moderate income earners who are paying more than 30% per month in rent to help support and lower the cost of housing in compared to their income. And then finally, on transportation, we would also invest in public transit and push for low cost or free public transit and expand the transit network to make it easier for students to get to and from school and avoid the high cost of owning and operating a car.
Thank you, Cyrus. Young people have particular concerns about housing, many of them having a hard time finding affordable places to rent. Many believe that they will never be able to afford buying their own homes after they finish their studies and enter the workforce, or ever. What will you do to make housing more affordable for young people and their families during their education and after they graduate?
Yes, it's harder than ever to find a affordable place to rent, let alone buy. I think in New Westminster, just like many places across the Lower Mainland, housing prices and the cost of rent has just only been increasing. And for some, buying is just simply out of reach for most students and recent graduates. And so I think the key here is to support renters and help increase supply and also to help cool the housing market. So for those who are looking to buy, that they may have an opportunity to save up. And so as a BC Green, we would introduce a rental supplement that will help low and moderate income earners who are paying more than 30% of their income in rent. To help increase supply, we would work with local governments to expand what they call that missing middle of townhouses and triplexes and encourage, especially here in New West, the concept of carriage homes and laneways and even secondary suites, which are becoming more popular. You see more of them in the city. And we would look to cool the housing market, and try to keep those house prices low by closing some of the loopholes that are in the speculation tax that are allowing too many foreign owners and satellite owners to be exempt.
Thank you. And the next question that we have is, the pandemic has changed so many aspects of our lives. As the world moves forward towards developing a vaccine and creating long-term recovery plans, how will your recovery plan meet the needs of the current students and recent graduates, especially those looking for employment and work?
Yes. Yeah, I think it's essential for us to invest in a green economic recovery plan, a plan that invests to support businesses today that are providing jobs for students, and one that invests in the long term in the emerging and a clean economy. So we want to also support, where possible, to help students and recent grads to work as close as possible in their home community. And so to do that, the BC Greens would support innovation and development in clean. Includes a $1 billion investment fund that would support businesses that help support a shift to a zero carbon economy. And this in itself presents, I think, a lot of opportunities for new students and graduates entering the workforce. Closer to home, we would like to support small businesses in the form of rental subsidies to help them stay afloat, to provide job opportunities for students and recent grads, and provide rent subsidies to some of those businesses that have been deeply affected by the pandemic. And on the other side of things, on the New West side, especially in a lot of communities, the hospitality and the restaurant industry has also been hit hard, and we need to help support those industries with loan support to help them stay in business and ultimately help provide jobs to help students and recent grads support going forward.
Thank you. We'll go forward to our next question. An important topic that is at the forefront of many people's minds these days, including students, is the environment and creating long-term systems to protect our world for the future. What are the first steps you will take to tackle climate change?
Yeah, so I'm really proud of the fact that the BC Greens are with a plan to actually meet our climate commitments while taking full advantage of the opportunities that are present to students just entering the workforce. And so, first of all, what's clear, the first step is to set a really clear goal, and the BC Greens would work to achieve carbon neutrality by 2045 and take a lot of the investments that are happening today in the fossil fuel industry and move it into that clean economy. And so, like I said, the first step we'll do in this plan is to end subsidies to the fossil fuel companies, stop things like LNG, stop building pipelines, stop fracking. All of these things are essentially taxpayer-funded climate change, and this is what we need to do today, and instead use that investment, those subsidies, and move it into industries that are going to invest in and support a clean, green economy. We also need to do things like protect our old-growth forests and stop logging old-growth and high ecosystems, and start moving to, rather than exporting our raw wood out overseas, try to find ways to value add to the wood and have and sell high value wood. Example. We also need to, closer to home, to support electrification of our transportation system and encourage and fund electric buses and provide incentives to purchase things like e-bikes, for example. So all of these together can help support our climate change targets.
Thank you. And today we have the last question related to students at Douglas live in many different regions throughout the Lower Mainland, regularly traveling to and from campus for their studies, sometimes being forced to look for housing further and further away from because of rising costs. What measures will you implement to address transportation challenges faced by students, such as high insurance costs for young people and increased access to transit beyond immediate Greater Vancouver area?
Yes, thank you for this question. I think it's essential for us to prioritize investment in affordable public transit and active transportation. I think what we have seen is during the pandemic, transit ridership has dropped. And so that is putting our transit system at risk. And we can't let a pandemic put our transit infrastructure and service at risk. And so a BC Green government would work to protect our transit system and would prioritize more investment in transit service and ensure long-term financial support is provided to TransLink. We would invest in supporting expanding public transit options, such as expanding SkyTrain lines to help students get to school, give them more options, expand bus route options within the community. I think we're fortunate in New Westminster to have a pretty good SkyTrain network system running through, but we can further improve that to help students who are coming out of New West and provide connections to get closer to school. And finally, I think we also need to encourage multimodal transportations, encouraging cycling and biking, for example, improving our cycling routes and encouraging the use of bike lockers in key locations throughout the city, and then also encouraging the use of e-bikes, especially in New West. E-bikes are going to be super helpful in our hilly city, right? So. Thank you.
Thank you so much for answering all those questions, Cyrus. That's all the time we have for our Q&A today. So thank you, Cyrus, of the BC Green Party running and New Westminster riding, for finding time to chat with us today and sharing your platform with students. Good luck on the campaign and on Election Day.
Great.
Don't forget to pledge to vote at
takeitover.ca.